And after speaking affirmations over yourself, the more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey, thank you for joining. Where is the love? You have just tuned in to the show that talks about bullying versus love. Y'all, we got a show for y'all today. Check this out. But first, let me introduce myself. I am the host. I am Stephanie Hockenhall, and I am introducing my co-host, Gene Williams, my son. Come on in, son. Let's do the doggone thing.
Hello, we are on the air.
Y'all, he is a robot.
Hello, good people.
Oh, Lord. Y'all, we enjoy bringing you content that is helpful to help you get through the bullies after converted to him to a board. Mm-hmm. We enjoy bringing to you content that will help you make it through your bullying experiences and your negative experiences. That is what we are here for. Again, this show, where is the love? Where is the love when you're bullying others? There is none. Zero.
Salute on.
So y'all, we're not even going to recap the last show. We are going to move straight on into the new show. Son, you want to add anything before I get started? Because I'm hyped.
Nah, I'm ready to go. Let's rock it.
All right, y'all, today we are going to be talking about nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication. Yes, you can communicate without saying a word. Your actions, your eyes, your body movements, your gestures, all of that is nonverbal. Guess what? You can bully people nonverbally too. Mm-hmm. There are so many different types of bullying, so many different types. But antisocial bullying, part of that is nonverbal body language, the definition. So this is the definition of antisocial bullying: shunning, excluding, gossiping, mimicking, spreading rumors, using offensive gestures. Didn't I just say that? And negative nonverbal body language. Yes, you can bully that way. So, something that I've done for many years is watch people's body language. When you're in a conversation with them and when there's a group of people in the room, I just watch people and I can tell, and I've been able to tell this for many years. Somebody walk up to somebody and start talking to them. I can tell by the person that they walked up on how they are received by their body language. Right. So you can tell when they really don't want to be bothered with them, when they don't want to talk to them, when they don't like them. And it's been crazy to me for years. And so going over this information and researching nonverbal communication just brought back some of those memories. You want to add anything?
No. Well, and also you can tell how the person came to the person they walked up to by the by not only their body language, but the body language of the person who encountered them. If they came, like, even though the way they're walking, if they're walking aggressively, they're not coming.
Oh, yeah.
It
ain't getting ready to be nice.
Right. You better say something that's not going to be nice to you at all. You're going to be a little upset. You may want to throw them things up on you ready to go?
Yep. You want to add something else?
Nah, I'm done. I just wanted to ask you for a second.
Well, you want to get right into it, or you want me to start?
I do. Yeah. All right. So again, we're talking about nonverbal communication. So nonverbal communication means conveying information without using words. This might involve using certain facial expressions or hand gestures to make a specific point. Or it could involve the use or non-use of eye contact, physical proximity, and other nonverbal cues to get a message across. And again, like we said, if you get up in a person's face or something of the sort, and aggressively walk up to them, then that nonverbal communication means, all right, it's about to be a fight.
Right.
Words of fist.
Yep.
A substantial portion of our communication is nonverbal. In fact, some researchers suggest that the percentage of nonverbal communication is 4 times that of verbal communication, with 80% of what we communicate involving our actions and gestures versus only 20% being conveyed with the use of words.
Yep.
Nonverbal communication plays an important part in how we convey meaning and information to others, as well as how we interpret the actions of those around us. The most important thing to remember when looking at nonverbal behaviors is to consider the actions in groups. Consider what a person says verbally combined with their expressions, appearance, and tone of voice. And it can tell you a great deal about what that person is really trying to say. Yeah.
So I want to add something to that. Were you going to interject something?
Go ahead.
So what I wanted to say is, as you were reading, I was thinking about how many times have you watched somebody's approach to someone else and misread that person. Maybe they're getting ready to do this, or maybe they're getting ready to, say this or say that, by their actions, and you were wrong. Sometimes we can misread people, but nonverbal body language and communication, man, is so powerful. Sometimes, even when I'm talking to somebody and I mention somebody else's name or, mention something that happened, I can tell by their nonverbal communication how they receive what I said. So I can tell whether they like that person or they're, turned off by that person, or if they're disengaged. You're not even listening to me. I'm talking to you, but you somewhere else. So that's telling me you ain't listening to me.
Right.
And so that nonverbal communication can be hurtful depending on, specifically if you're hurting and you're expressing your pain to somebody and they're not engaged, that can be very hurtful.
Right. And also a lot of times with communication, we oftentimes, like you can tell when a person is hiding behind words, but their body language and even their tone is saying something different.
Yeah.
I think it's really important for us to be very honest about, what we're thinking and what we're feeling. Because again, your body language tells 80% of the equation. It's 80% of the conversation between only the verbal but the nonverbal. So you got 80% of the conversation that you're having with the person is based off of the way you're looking and the tone of voice and, how close you are, to them, or how you're standing. You can be defensive with your arms. All right, that's defensive. All right.
Right.
So I need to say certain things. I mean, all of that, plays into the equation. So it's very important to not only say what you mean, but, because your body's going to tell the story regardless of what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not upset. No, I'm not upset. Oh, yeah. You're upset. Everything you're doing, all this is aggressive. I need you to bring that down. Bring that down. Or these go up.
I like that. What you want? Make up your mind. What we doing? What we doing?
You made a decision. As long as I know what you're doing, we doing the same thing. Probably.
Right.
Whoop, 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 whatever, man.
Oh man, where are we?
Every day.
I do this all the time. I'm so glad you got me. Every day we respond to thousands of nonverbal cues and behaviors, including postures, facial expressions, eye gaze, gestures, and tone of voice. All of those are nonverbal body, nonverbal communication. I mean, you are, all of those things tell me what's happening with you. You know, from our handshakes to our hairstyles, our nonverbal communication reveals who we are and impacts how we relate to other people.
Right.
What you got to say?
Yeah, I want to say when they said handshake. So I was out, my lady and I were out, you know what I'm talking about. We were out and, amongst friends celebrating one of her friends. And so we saw a mutual friend. I went over to speak to her. We happened to be talking about my earrings. She has the same thing. So, I was like, "Yo, those are dope, whatever, blah, 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 blah." So a guy walked up, and he's taller than me. He's about 6'3", 6'4". So he walked up. And I was like, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" And he tried to shake my hand extra aggressively. So I just lightly squeezed. And then looked him in his eye like,
Right.
See you. Now sit down.
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." So he sat down and I kept talking to her. He kind of looked at me like, I was like,
yeah, because you didn't scare me. You see, I could put some squeeze on it too,
partner. I'm greeting you nicely. I could break that hand if I wanted to. Crunch.
Oh, that's a trip.
Keisha didn't call me Bam Bam for no reason. You know what I mean?
And you just mentioned her name when you were reading about the handshake. So I had this.
Right.
Okay, so I was in a relationship. I'm trying to figure out how to word this for the TV. So I was in a relationship. And so Keisha met him for the first time. And this was the worst relationship that I had. Okay, let me come back. All right, so
reel it back in.
Yeah, let me reel it back in. So anyway, this was her first time meeting him. So he used to be in the Army. I'll add that. So what he did when he went to shake her hand is he, like this. And she said, what is that?
That's a wet shake.
She said, right. She said, if that's how you gonna shake my hand, don't shake my hand no more. Like I'm raggedy. So handshakes, and that was in the beginning of the relationship. So I mean, the rest of the relationship told that story.
Right.
So it was horrible, but so my lady interest that was doing crochet was doing nonverbal communication. Saw that nonverbal communication during the NCAA tournaments. Listen, nonverbal body communication or nonverbal communication speaks loudly. Huh?
I was saying that's probably how they were greeting each other. They're about to play each other, so they bumping all hard. And we're gonna win. This is our game. No, right. No. Hey, right here.
Trying to intimidate.
Right.
But anyway, okay. So back to the show.
Reel it back in.
So facial expressions. Let's talk about facial expressions. Facial expressions are responsible for a huge portion of nonverbal communication. Consider how much information can be conveyed with a smile or a frown. The look on a person's face is often the first thing we see, even before we hear what they have to say. While nonverbal communication and behavior vary dramatically between cultures, the facial expressions for happiness, sadness, anger, and fear are similar throughout the world. I'm going to let you do this next part. You want to interject something?
No, I was going to say, Also, like I noticed, and I think this comes back to awareness. A lot of times, people will have other things on their mind when they're communicating. So it's like they're there with you conveying a message, but their mind is somewhere else. So like the look on your face has nothing to do with the person you're actually talking to. You know what I mean? You're looking, angry or sad or whatever, but you're trying to convey a message to somebody else about something totally different. So it's, I think it's important not only with nonverbal communication to be quite aware, and I think that's, in essence what we're talking about, but yeah, being really aware and being present in the conversation that you're having, as opposed to, being mentally somewhere else, because you could be mad about something else. Man, listen, man, I love you, man.
Keep it. Keep
it. Is there a butt behind that? It sounds like there's a butt. Hey, 50 feet. 50 feet. Step back about 3 steps. Just enough for me to, just in case. You never know.
Right.
You have to fight you tonight. You can't bounce like you a kangaroo and you about to. I don't know. I gotta get my feet. I gotta get my feet set. I don't know what we're doing.
It tripped me out to see a kangaroo up on there when you was doing that. Right. It always trips me out to see them doing that, bouncing around on them 2 feet and like they fighting.
Like, wait, bro.
Right.
Hey, listen, you bounce a little too close to me. I'm gonna stick you. Ooh, got him.
It's always so funny to me to see that.
Right. You ever seen the ones that be like this?
Yep.
That one's on steroids. I don't want to fight him.
Kangaroo and Mama said, "Knock me out, knock me out."
Hilarious.
Kangaroo said, "Mama said."
When you bouncing like that, I heard that.
Mama said, "Knock me out." Okay, let's stop fighting and get back to the show.
Guys, we are peaceful people, okay?
Right.
We are. We're just really silly, okay? All right, gestures. We had gestures, right?
Yeah.
All right. So again, deliberate movements and signals are an important way to communicate meaning without words. Common gestures include waving, pointing, and giving a thumbs up sign. Other gestures are arbitrary and related to culture. All right, we're moving on to paralinguistics. And paralinguistics refers to vocal communication that is separate from actual language. This form of nonverbal communication includes factors such as tone of voice, loudness, inflection, and pitch.
Yep.
And you notice when people are like really angry, their voice gets higher.
Yep.
Brother, bring it down a notch or two, okay? My ears are sensitive.
Yeah, that what you just said reminds me, made me think of, I've been learning about learning. Wait a minute. I've been learning a lot in the last few weeks, learning more about speaking because I'm a speaker. And so getting my, I can't even think of the word, making my speaking better, my speech is better for audiences. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we talk about is inflection. Mm-hmm. How, because you can be losing the audience, but you can change your inflection and draw the audience back in. And so, that just reminded me of that, so inflection and pitch, right? When your pitch changes, that can, depending on if it's getting higher or lower. If it's getting lower, then that can start putting people to sleep and make them uninterested. Right. And so you raise your pitch, and and it helps the audience get back engaged again. It's like, what you doing? So anyway, that just made me think about that.
Right, and it's the same thing with music. It's the same thing with music. Music. If you do a song straight across with no monotone song with no pitch, rises and falls in pitch, you know what I mean? Like things like that. It's like, oh, okay, we're building, it kind of, it's like you start off at a low pitch and you rise to get their attention, and it's like a rise and fall. Same thing with movies. The way you write a movie, it has to have a starting point, and then the rise is in action. Then it comes down just a little bit. The next, woo, up a little higher. You know what I mean? It keeps people engaged.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's the same thing with speech. If you have a monotone approach to it, then people, like you said, will fall asleep.
Yep.
But if you have a rise and fall in your pitch, they like sitting on the edge of their seat, like, what's next? What's next?
Yep. Yep. It's interesting to be learning that. So anyway, go ahead.
All right. So body language and posture. Posture and movement can also provide a great deal of information. Research on body language has grown significantly since the 1970s, with popular media focusing on the over-interpretation of defensive postures such as arm crossing and leg crossing. Yeah, there's a whole page of a body linguist speaking about different things in popular culture. Like he did a thing on the Will Smith, Chris Rock slap, the body, posture and all that stuff. And he's done that through other things. And it's just like, sometimes we can overanalyze and lose the humanity,
Yeah.
You can't be present if you constantly analyze everything. He did it. Oh, he moved his head this way. He turned it 65 degrees to the left. What?
Yeah. And that means
right.
this, or it means that.
Right.
Okay. Can you pay attention to the conversation instead of being so focused on the body language? What did I say?
Right. Man, listen. Right. Right. Man.
So you might miss the value in what I'm saying because you focus so much on my body language and how I'm going to move.
Ooh. Yeah, it's brought out something. Yeah, people
Let it out.
But no, and I understand the importance of body language and whatnot. But again, you get so caught up in analyzing it that you don't actually hear what the person is saying. I've had situations where an older gentleman, would constantly watch every move. And, I move a certain way. If I take a deep breath, and that's, a sign of disrespect. It's like, dog, you might want to step off your high horse. You know what I mean? I can breathe and do whatever I want to do. Ain't nobody telling analyzing your every move.
Yeah.
Come off me, cousin. Come off me, cousin. Like straight up. You know what I mean? See how my pitch went up? Yeah, exactly. I was serious about that.
Ain't gonna be serious.
Man, listen.
And stay serious about it, okay?
You might want to back up off me, bro. You don't want that kind of smoke.
Get back, Jack.
I'm all. You know how it goes. We all like, and this is a family thing. It's like we all, laugh and jokes until somebody go past that point. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Now I'm on you, and can't nobody get me off.
Yep.
It's your fault, though. I told you.
Yep.
I told you to leave me alone.
Some people think body language is their version of astrology. You turn left, you must be angry. You breathe heavily, you must be anxious.
Right.
Wow. Right. Not always the case.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, dude. Yeah. Just people. It can be frustrating dealing with people so much. So that's why I love my time at home. I do. Like, I value that. At the end of the day, where you going? I'm going home. See y'all whenever I see you again. But I'm not. You want to go hang out at the club? Oh no, that's too many people that I don't even know. Oh, I'm good. I'm going home.
I want to say something, and you probably already thought of this, but I'm going to say it. Doesn't it make a difference when you are welcome in a place?
Man, what you said.
Than when you are not. When you are not welcome at home, you don't want to be there.
Right, exactly. There's a difference.
When you are welcome, I want to be there. Right. Listen, that's where I'm that's my comfortable spot.
Right.
I can hang out and chill and do whatever, but home is where I want to be. I value peace. I
Yes.
know I get peace at home.
Hallelujah. Oh, 3 pieces and a biscuit, Lord.
You ain't got no.
With some iced tea on the side, Lord.
I just wanted to add that because it's so true. I mean, I've been, I've lived in a few places where I was not comfortable at all. There was a strain on the relationship, intimate relationships and just relationships, period.
Right.
And I was not happy. I was not comfortable. I was not at peace.
Right.
And so I didn't want to go home.
Right.
And, when I'm in a place where I am, how can I say this? I value peace when I'm home and I know that it's a peaceful situation. Right. So being at home by myself is peaceful. I've learned how to value peace because of the situations that I've experienced. Right. So I value peace. And Gene is going to church. I know it's Easter, but Gene is doing his impersonation of the Easter service.
But I want to put a cherry on top of what you just said. So there's a huge difference between being welcome and being tolerated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And it also is conveyed in the body language. When you come home in person, oh, I almost said something. Yeah. Darn. Why that face? Okay, deep breath because I walked into the room. I'm gonna go back out here I'm gonna see y'all later. I don't. The air is thick. It's choking me. Like, man, it's crazy. And to be welcome, like you get home and everybody's excited to see you. Like that's a whole different type of energy. Or you get home and just like you have your own peace. Like you ain't got to worry about no one talking crazy, expecting too much out of you, whatever. Just however it shows up for you, having that peace.
Yep.
Not only, and it starts with peace of mind first. You know what I mean? Peace of mind starts in here, and then it just manifests outwardly into whatever situation that is not advantageous, but like ideal for you. You know what I mean? But man, just being welcome, being loved. Like he's home, she's home, even if it's me, I'm home.
Yep.
I'm
and
home, guys. Party over here. Party over there. I hear you.
That's one thing I love about dogs.
Yeah.
Is because dogs, you can be gone out for 2 minutes and come back and they so excited to see you, all happy. Man, if we could be that way with each other, that would be so lovely because it feels so good when dogs do that.
Right.
And even if you fuss at them about something they did, go away for a few minutes and come back and they
all over you.
Yeah. So anyway, I just had to interject that.
Yeah, having that love is important, man. There's nothing like it. If you're gonna be around people, then it's good to be able to just be able to breathe.
Yeah.
Not that anxiety from just being around people who are constantly side-eyeing you like, what this Negro doing here? I'm trying to live. Why are you looking at me like that? I mean, dog, you want to fight? I like to fight. I like to fight people.
So Mark said a couple things here. Speaking of peace, we know the Easter Bunny gets no peace. Still trying to figure out why Bunny has Easter eggs.
Well,
yeah, let's leave that alone.
There's a whole other conversation out there. I can tell you why.
And then he said, but at least unlike Santa Claus, kids aren't on their laps begging for gifts. And then he said, y'all, this is our producer talking. Saw a couple have their dog walking them. I ran a long errand. I ran a long errand and dogs was just getting back. Think it walked as human about 5 miles. Wow. Yeah, the dog is gonna walk you if you let them keep walking you. They don't get tired.
They don't.
Before you, more than likely, in most cases.
I'll wear mine out. I'll be wrestling with them and running around, and nah, you can't catch me. Nope. Zoop. Zoop. Now go lay down over there.
Right. So back to the show. Proxemics.
Yep.
People often refer to their need for personal space. This is known as proxemics and is another type of nonverbal communication. Get back, leave me alone. I'm in my personal space. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, so like being close up on a person when you're talking to them conveys one or two things. Either aggression, if you're like up on a person, or intimacy, So if that's not your intention, we're dealing with a person, you might want to give them, a social distance.
Yeah.
6 feet, a good 2-3 steps, again, because you get up on a person, like I said, it's like, you want to kiss me? You want to kiss me? I don't play like that, or you want to fight. So it's important to know that, like, some people just don't understand the social cues. Some people just walk up on, hey, how you doing, girl? Wait a minute, hey, put your hand on their forehead. Wait a minute, you too close. Arm distance right there. That's the arm distance. Get there.
Mark said, how important is it for everyone to have their space? Very important.
Man, listen.
Very important. It depends.
And that's how I invite you in.
Right. Other than that, you are invading my space.
My personal space.
And that's when you need to get back. Give me 50 feet. Give me 50 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and also like I just said, as it pertains to personal space, to breach that personal space, it has to be consensual on the person that you're breaching. You know what I'm saying? If they don't want you in that space, then you have to respect that.
Yeah.
It's not disrespect. I don't want you. You don't want me up in your space? No, dog.
Right.
Back up off me a little bit, man. I might start to feel jumpy if you get too close. Like, listen.
Like that kangaroo.
I'm gonna switch up on you now. But yeah, like, it's important, and that's why, like, to me, a lot of the bullying that I encountered, not only as a kid, but even as an adult in a romantic relationship, it was the breaching of my personal space that would make me angry, because I'm asking you to stay back, and you just keep, like, you up on me, like we bumping chests. I can feel your heartbeat. You can feel mine. You know what I mean? That's too close. It's way too close unless we kissing. If we ain't kissing, you need to, hey, on distance. If I can do this and touch you, you too close.
That's disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. It's disrespectful. You need to, hey, arm distance unless I say, hey, come here. If I grab you, pull you in, you okay with it, then we do that. But okay, hey, arm distance. If I can jab you too close.
I don't want to be jabbed by them guns.
I'm telling you, I light up your life. Put the lights out.
All right, let's do eye gaze.
Yeah. Want me to do it?
Yeah.
All right. The eyes play a role in nonverbal communication, with such things as looking, staring, and blinking being important cues. For example, when you encounter people or things that you like, your rate of blinking increases and your pupils dilate. It also, those feel-good dopamines release in your brain. People's eyes can indicate a range of emotions, including hostility, interest, and attraction. See what I'm saying? People also often utilize eye gaze cues to gauge a person's honesty. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. If you can't look me in the eyes when we talking, you ain't telling the truth.
Right.
You're hiding something I don't trust.
Something shifty.
Shifty. Exactly. You can't look at me right here. Where you going? Come back here with them eyes. Come back. Normal, steady eye contact is often taken as a sign that a person is telling the truth and is trustworthy. Shifty eyes and an inability to maintain eye contact, on the other hand, is frequently seen as an indicator that someone is lying or being deceptive. Absolutely.
Yep.
Like here. Mm-mm. And there are other tells. I don't know if it talks about it, but like, if you, a person, so he would. Mm-hmm. Is that a nervous tick, or is he lying? I'm gonna ask him something else. Hey, so what color is the sky? Is it green? Yeah, it's green. He was lying.
So before you go to the next part, Mark said, I heard it was 100 feet for you, Stephanie. Yeah, 50 feet, 100 feet. Back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, now some folks I keep at arm's length away, even if we are doing business together, because I know their toxicity. Mm-hmm. So you have to watch people, listen to people, and then you know how you got to deal with them. So, it's just a thing to keep your peace, maintain your peace.
Right.
Your space.
Right.
Go ahead.
It also helps with your integrity. You know what I mean? You can't allow people into your space that are no good for you. They're pulling you down, or you constantly got to worry about, what they're saying or doing. It's good to keep people at arm's length. Actually, I like to keep most people at arm's length. I let you in close if you're worthy, but other than that, hey, how you doing over there? All right. No, you can't come over. No, I don't know you like that. I know you, and I don't want you in my space. No.
Yeah.
No, we can make some money together. I can do that. I need to see everything, all the documentation. You can see all.
Okay, go to haptics, or you want me to do it?
I can do it. That's fine. All right. So haptics, communicating through touch is another important nonverbal communication behavior. Touch can be used to communicate affection, familiarity. Lord, I always mess up that word. Sympathy and other emotions.
One of the things that I know that I do when I'm talking to people, especially if I am, if I feel comfortable with them, one of the things that I do is touch. And I know everybody's different, but I might be talking to you and put my hand, on your shoulder or on your arm, if I'm talking to you. I don't do that to everybody. It just depends on who I'm talking to and how I feel about them and how I know they feel about me. And I'm not talking about all intimate relationships. I'm just talking about period.
Right.
If I know that I can put my hand on you while I'm talking to you, maybe on your arm while I'm talking to you and I'm saying something, I know I got your attention, and I know you're not going to take what I'm saying the wrong way, or you're not going to take my touch the wrong way. So I find myself doing that, specifically kind of if I'm asking a question, or if I'm talking about something to me that I hope this echoing that I'm hearing is not picking up on there. But specifically, if I'm, like I said, asking a question or trying to get a point across, then I might be like, put my hand on them, you didn't think about it like that, did you? Something like that, but I have to know, and I always know, if I can do it by the conversation with the person. And so I know that they're not going to take my touch the wrong way. But that's something that I realize that I do quite a bit.
Right. Yeah, and it's definitely indicative of the closeness and the intimacy of the relationship. Not even necessarily romantic intimacy, but
right.
How well you know a person, how the level of vulnerability between you and the person that you're talking to or touching in that instance is that, if you don't know a person, you may want to keep your hands to yourself. But if y'all have a closeness and you know each other well, then that's acceptable as long as it's consensual.
Yeah.
But touching does convey a lot in the way you do it. So there's the opposite side of that. You grab somebody by the arm because you're frustrated. That conveys a message.
Right.
You don't have to say nothing. You grab them aggressively. That's aggression. And that'll cause defensiveness in the person that you're touching.
And I want to add while we're there about touching that I have learned that one of my love languages is touching.
Mm-hmm.
And so that probably has something to do with me touching, because like I said, I don't touch everybody, but it depends on who I'm talking to and how long I have known you, and what the conversation is. And if I know, like I said, that you're not going to misunderstand my touch, because I don't mean any harm, and I don't mean, anything negative or that I want you or anything like that. It's just something that I, have seen myself doing a lot.
Right. It's just your brand of communication.
Yeah. Some people are huggers and not everyone can relate to that. I'm a hugger. I know some ladies.
I know you.
Huh?
If I know you, I'll hug you. If I don't know you, hey, how you doing? Or even a fist bump. Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? You good? Yeah.
And then he said, I know some ladies that are huggers, and it doesn't mean they are attracted to that person. Exactly.
Right. So
for me, it's hugging or touching. And some people that I touch, I don't hug. Unless so let me just say this, because I just thought of an example. There are a few young guys where I was working at that I talked to a lot. And so when I talk to them, I, put my hand, maybe on their shoulder, or, or I put, the backhand like this on them when I'm talking to them and I'm looking in their face talking to them. Well, I knew that they wouldn't take what I was doing personal, and then so with that being said, when it came to hugging them, I hugged them. Well, one of them, I was always encouraging. So I started calling him my son. That's part of the reason why I started calling him that. But I, would hug him if he, was having a rough day. Well, he knew I didn't mean anything by that, except for I'm just showing you some love, showing you that I care. I want you to feel better, and then when I would talk to him or he would talk to me, then, we might be standing next to each other and, put our hand, not the whole conversation, but just talking, hey, blah, 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 and he, would do the same thing. And we laughed a lot and we had serious conversations. But again, I knew that they were not misunderstanding what I was doing. So in the other one, I only hugged him to say goodbye. And that wasn't every day. That was just the last goodbye, because I could touch him and talk to him, but he wasn't a hugger like the other one was. And we didn't constantly hug. That just wasn't what we did. But, we encouraged each other because of the work environment that we worked in. So touching is a way of communicating that's not damaging to others if you're okay with it.
Right.
So let's move on, because we spent a lot of time there.
Gotta be clear about what we was talking about, so you understand.
Yeah, right. Don't misunderstand what I just said. You want me to do the next part, or you want to do it?
I can do it. All right. So appearance also plays a major part in nonverbal communication. Our choice of clothing, hairstyle, and other appearance factors are also considered as a means of nonverbal communication. Research on color psychology has demonstrated that different colors can evoke different moods. Appearance can also alter physiological reactions, judgments, and interpretations.
So on the appearance part, it just made me think of homeless people, you know. So, I mean, what we would call homeless, meaning that sometimes people, are dressed, with big clothes, dirty looking clothes, and so you just assume naturally that that's a homeless person, especially if they're just hanging out around an area and just looking kind of sad, you know. So that's one thing that's nonverbal communication that I guess is kind of understood through those, that see that. So I just wanted to add that too. We don't know, but we just look and automatically judge, that person is homeless, or, what's going on with that person,
Right. Another thing, like it was saying about colors, like a person who wears bright colors, bright loud colors, that means, hey, I want to be seen. You know what I mean? In one way or another. If you have a mohawk, you know what I mean, that you're conveying a message. You know what I mean? If you have locks, you're conveying a message. Everything that we wear, the way we style our hair, I shaved the beard off and just got this right here, man. You know what I mean? So, now it's like I'm younger, conveying a message that anyway. So everything that we do, even this shirt, what would Jason do?
Who's Jason?
Jason Voorhees.
Oh Lord. Okay, we see.
Don't get scared now. He right behind you. Look.
Kill.
Look behind you.
I ain't scared.
Hey, get in here.
Jason, who is knocking on your door causing problems because he is almost as bad as Chucky or Freddy.
Right, with the slow walk. Catch everybody.
All right, artifacts. Objects and images are also tools that can be used to communicate non-verbally. On an online forum, for example, you might select an avatar to represent your identity and to communicate information about you, about who you are, and the things you like. People often spend a great deal of time developing a particular image and surrounding themselves with objects designed to convey information about the things that are important to them.
Right.
You want to add something?
No, that's very true though. Everything is just a clue into the person that you're dealing with. I don't do the avatar stuff because that just takes too much time. I don't like social media like that. But it is important to convey the non-verbally, like who you are and the things that you like. I know that the jewelry that I wear, painting my nails, whatever, jewelry, clothes, whatever, conveys a certain message. So, and with social media now, we have like, you post something that kind of gives a glimpse into who you are, so things like that are definitely something we should pay attention to when we're dealing with people because it speaks a lot.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like discover so what you like. Well, it's on this page you got. So, you got this on there, so I think he like that.
Right.
Like cars. He like money.
You can learn a lot about a person or about people, even though they're not speaking anything, by this stuff that we're reading about. It's just something that's understood when you look at that person. Society says so.
Oh yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Unless you want to add something.
No. Why nonverbal communication is important. Nonverbal communication serves an important role in conveying meaning. Some benefits it provides include strengthening relationships. Nonverbal communication fosters closeness and intimacy in interpersonal relationships. Number two, substituting for spoken words, signaling information that a person might not be able to say aloud. This can be helpful in situations where a person might not be heard, such as a noisy workplace or in a therapy, or in therapy situations where a mental health professional can look at nonverbal behaviors to learn more about how a client might be feeling. Reinforcing meaning, matching nonverbal communication with spoken words can help add, add clarity and reinforce important points. Regulating conversation. Nonverbal signals can also help regulate the flow of conversation and indicate both the start and end of a message or topic. Nonverbal communication is important because it can also provide valuable information, reinforce the meaning of spoken words, and help convey trust and add clarity to your message.
Yep.
So, how do you improve upon your nonverbal communication skills? If you want to develop more confident body language or improve your ability to read other people's nonverbal communication behaviors, these tips can help. Pay attention to your own behaviors. Notice the gestures you use when you're happy versus when you're upset. Think about how you change the tone of your voice depending upon the emotions you're feeling. Being aware of your own nonverbal communication tendencies is the first step to changing the ones you want to change. It can also give you insight into how you're feeling if you're having trouble putting it into words.
And before you start trying to fix somebody else or correct somebody else, it's best to look at you, look at yourself, and to admit when you're, like I said, pay attention to your own behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what you're doing, watch what you say, be aware of what you're doing and what you say, because it does matter.
Right.
And then you can point the finger at somebody else.
Right.
But you can't fix them.
Right.
You got to fix you.
Yeah.
So,
and it also kind of clues you into, like, the insecurities that you feel, the anxieties that you feel. You got to imagine that every other person in your life is feeling that as well. So that gives you the ability to be empathetic with people and not take everything personally.
Yeah. That's good. You want me to do the next part, or you got it?
You can do it.
Become a student of others. It can also be helpful to consider how others around you communicate nonverbally. What do their facial expressions say? What type of gestures do they use? Becoming familiar with their nonverbal communication pattern helps you recognize when they might be feeling a certain way quicker, because you're actively watching for their cues.
Right.
It can also help you recognize nonverbal behaviors you may not want to adopt yourself, such as standing tall when talking to others to display self-confidence. You want to add something?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this before and I forgot to say it. One of the things that for instance, going back to bullying, a lot of the issue with the people who are being bullied is because they don't show up as strong. They show up as fearful,
vulnerable. Yep.
Right, exactly. And people who have, and it's funny because they have the same issue. It's just on the other side of the spectrum. So
Yeah.
The first person is really quiet and reclusive and drawn back, and the other person is rah rah and always got to be in somebody's face.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like two sides of the same person matching off.
Yep.
To actually create balance if you really think about it.
That's good. We're almost out of time.
Oh, yeah.
Look for incongruent nonverbal cues. Do you say that you're fine, then slam cupboard doors to show that you're upset? Do you say one thing and do something else?
Man.
Not Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, two sides of the same coin. If you say you're fine and you slam cupboard doors, this can be a mixed message. Maybe when someone is speaking with you, they are saying yes while shaking their head no. This is another example of incongruent behavior. Both can be signs of feeling a certain way, but not being ready to admit or discuss it. Nothing can be fixed if you don't admit that it's wrong. Something's wrong in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You're in denial.
Yeah.
Go ahead with the next part.
All right. Think before you act. If your middle finger seems to automatically fly up when a car cuts you off, even if your young child is in the back seat causing you to regret it as soon as it happens, you can work to stop this reaction. Train yourself to stop and think before you act. This can help you eliminate or replace nonverbal behaviors that you've been wanting to change. And last but not least, and so important in communication, period. Oh my God. Ask before you assume.
So you don't make it out of you and me.
Man, that donkey, hee-haw, hee-haw. Certain types of nonverbal communication can mean different things in different cultures. This can also vary based on someone's personality. Before assuming that a person's body language or tone means something definitively, ask. I noticed that you look at me, you won't look me in the eyes when we speak. Are you upset with me? Give them the opportunity to explain how they are feeling so you know for sure.
Mm-hmm. Ask questions. Don't assume. Y'all, go ahead.
Ask so you won't be a
A donkey.
Hee-haw.
A jackass.
There you go.
Right, Mark. That's what we're trying not to say.
Right. I'm trying to be PG over here, okay?
So we have talked about nonverbal communication.
Right.
Again, it is antisocial bullying if it is negative nonverbal body language. You are being an antisocial bully. Stop it.
And back up.
You want to add anything before we close the show?
So again, something that I feel like is constant in this information that we conveyed today is that you have to be very, very aware of not only your nonverbal communication skills and behaviors, but also the people that you interact with daily. The more that you're aware of your own, the better you can be at dealing with other people and understanding their nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
Be aware of yourself and your actions, and you'll understand and have the ability to be empathetic for other people and their ways of communicating nonverbally.
Yep. So this is our show for today. Check yourself before you start checking somebody else. Watch your own, right. Watch your own, be aware of your own nonverbal body language, because people see you. No matter how much you try to hide, people see you.
Yeah.
We see you.
Yeah, listen.
So
I ain't mad.
We see you and all that attitude. So thank you for joining our show. We will be back next week with a new show. We don't know what we're going to be talking about next week. Never know. Just what'd you say?
Gonna be important now.
Right. It's always going to be important. We ain't going to just bring you nothing. We got something for you.
Got some treasures for you, baby.
So take care. We send you away with love, right sign, love, peace, and want you to be happy, joyful. Take care and bye for now. We'll see you next week, same place, same time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Sunday. Bye for now.
Tribulation